Hi, everybody. I hope this is working. I was having some technical difficulties here, but it looks like I am recording, which is great. And we have tons of friends on the call. I see a lot of you popping in. Caroline's here and Amy. So we're going to get started. Thanks for bearing with me. Sometimes with technology, things get a little tricky, but I think we've got it. And just write in the chat box if you have any questions or, if you can't hear me. So hopefully everybody can hear me. Let me check. I think so. It looks like everyone can hear me. All right. So I am Lisa Consoy Ryan, the owner of Whole Health Designs, and I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach. And I'm here to welcome you for the kickoff of our Juice It Up 3-day cleanse. It's happening in a few days. So I wanted to kind of do a juicing 101 with you so that we can go over some juicing basics. And by looking at everybody showing up call, some of you have been with me for a few years. So juicing is one of those things. It's a different animal in the nutrition world, and it's actually one of my favorite things to talk about and my favorite things to add into my body. And I'm going to tell you why in a moment. So really quickly, what we're going to do is we're going to go through some information, and then we'll have a Q&A. So how does that sound? All right. So let's get started. Our call will be probably for about 45-50 minutes. And I just want to let you know that I'm really honored that you are here with me because there's so much out there, especially when it comes to juicing. There's so many things that you can read on the internet. A friend might say this or someone says that. So I'm here to tell you what you need to do to get started from an expert point of view, and also tons of research that I've done and a lot of love and care too, because juicing, like I said, is something that can be one of those things that you want to try, but unfortunately, juicing is somewhat still of a mystery. And I was reading Mantra magazine. I'm not sure if you ever read that magazine, but it's a great magazine. You should definitely pick that up at the store. But I was reading about trends and what makes something from fringe become a trend and then a habit. And so really juicing started years and years ago. And mainly bodybuilders juiced, and I'm not talking steroids, but juiced vegetables and fruits. Or if you were ill with a chronic disease, usually cancer patients were known for juicing and were told to juice by their doctors. And so that kind of started everything, and that was like in the 1960s, early 70s. So actually, juicing has been around for a long time, but it was still on that fringe part, meaning that only some people did it, and not everyone was on board with it. It wasn't until about 4 or 5 years ago juicing became more popular in New York City, LA, pretty much on those two cities. Juicing was really actually pretty common, and so juice shops started popping up everywhere. And even in my city in Annapolis, I am actually the only person that I know that actually juices for customers and clients using a cold pressed juicer. It's still, and it might be because I live in a tourist town and crab cakes and steak is our main, every restaurant has those two things on the menu there. But I've noticed lately that a lot of different people are, coming to me from all over, even all over the country, emailing me, contacting me about cold pressed juicing and how to get started and what juicer to buy. And can I juice without a juicer? So we're going to get into all of that today. So this is our kickoff, as I said. And like I said, juicing is a little bit of a mystery. or kind of gets a bad rap. Sometimes, you might hear people say, wow, it's just too confusing, or I have a juicer, but I haven't taken it out of the box yet. And that actually was me when I first got my Breville juicer. I had it in the box for a few weeks because I just kept looking at it. And, then I opened it and took it out of the box and kind of looked at it again for a week or two until I started putting fruits and vegetables in the juicer and then, discovering, oh my gosh, this is amazing stuff here. I got to be doing this at least every day or at least weekly. So maybe, and you're probably here because you might have watched Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. Joe Cross, Joe the Juicer, has a second DVD out, a second documentary out, and I've seen it, but it's actually pretty inspiring. The first one, I watched it many, many times, and I've shown it to many, many people, and I cry and cry during the first one. And the second one's also such a big inspiration because it kind of talks about how he started with juicing to kind of save his life. Definitely check out these two DVDs if you can, or get on Joe the Juicer's website because he has tons of great information on there also. Maybe you received a juicer for your wedding and it was about 8 years ago and you haven't taken it out of the box like I just mentioned before, or you're deciding to up your nutrition game. Juicing will definitely do that. Lots of athletes will juice to kind of burn some fat or to lean up before an event. And I'm not sure, remember the Olympics, oh goodness, the Summer Olympics, and now I can't remember the year, my mind is failing me, but a lot of the athletes, especially runners and cross-country athletes would drink beet juice after their races because beets are known for recovery and healing. So like I said, the fringe of juicing is now a trend. So okay, hold on. I think there's something going on here. You can anyone hear me? Oh no. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, does anyone hear me? Okay, if you do, okay, awesome. Thank you, Susan. I'm getting messages that some of you can't hear me. Okay, I'm just going to keep on talking, and hopefully we'll just keep going here. Okay, so that said, we were talking about Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead and things becoming more mainstream with juicing. And, maybe you decided it's time to, like I said, up your nutrition game because you might be already eating clean, or you're, trying to avoid gluten or dairy, or maybe you cut out caffeine and you know that you want to do something more to heal your cells from the inside out and to do something quick and fast. So juicing is your ticket. And also, for many of us, we realize that the swimsuit season is right around the corner. In fact, it probably started. I know for me, my pool is open and, wearing shirts and dresses without sleeves, things like that. So, it's always nice to juice and kind of feel light again. All right, so during our call, really quickly, we're going to learn the benefits of juicing and why you need to juice. Now, I know you probably know some of these benefits, but before your juicing up cleanse, whether you are cleansing full on for 3 days, or if you're just trying one juice a day, whatever you're going to do, I just want to get juice into your system. So I want you to think about your intentions before we even start, and I want to hear those. So please type them in the chat box, and then we'll go over them also during the Q&A time. I'm going to tell you about the equipment you need. We're going to talk about those juicers, but we're also going to talk about your kitchen juicing station, such as your bamboo cutting board and your knife and things like that. So I'm going to tell you what to have on hand so there are no excuses for juicing. We're going to talk about the difference between juicing and blending. This is going to be something that's going to be very important because I hear this a lot. Oh, I made a juice. I used my Vitamix. Oh, no, that's not juicing. That's totally two different nutritional types of goals. And we'll talk about the two different, these two different ways to get that green goodness into our system and how we can drink our food. But using a Vitamix is definitely different than using a juicer, such as a Breville or a Champion, a Mega Juicer, things like that. So I'm going to tell you what the differences are. I mean, they're both amazing, but I want to tell you what the differences are so that you know what your goals are going to be for your cleanse. You're going to have a juice recipe and some tips to kick off this juicing adventure, and of course we'll have our Q&A. Alrighty. Now, if you know me or if you've been with me for a while, you know that I talk about that word balance. And it's actually not one of my favorite words because to be human, it's really hard to have perfect balance in your life. Things might be going well at work, family life is going great, and you might not be exercising, or you're skipping workouts, or you're eating like crap. Or then it could flip and you're eating really well and you're watching, you're kind of watching more of your workouts and maybe planning them and going to your workouts. But then things maybe with the relationship with a friend aren't going well. Or things at home, let's say, you haven't done laundry in a week or two, which that is actually me right now. So, you kind of feel frazzled, maybe overwhelmed. That's just being human, and that's okay, and that's totally normal and natural. But as humans, we do strive for balance in order to, live at, have optimal health, to live a good life, live a good, healthy life. And I'm going to call it relative balance. So to get this relative balance, it actually starts at the primal level, the physical level in your body. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but you can actually test yourself with pH strips. But I want you to think about your pH level. Now, the pH level are in your cells, in your blood cells, and you need to have a 7.365. The number is 7.365. So if you look on the chart, it's, kind of around that 7, it's green. And you can actually test yourself to see how acidic you are. And so why would you want to do that? Well, when you become acidic over time, and this is over time due to, let's say, smoking or drinking, eating lots of sugar, having stress, eating a lot of inflammatory foods, because when you become acidic, you become inflamed. And when you're inflamed, that leads to chronic illness. Now, this takes a while to happen. It could take years and years to happen, to have some type of imbalance in your body. But you could even see signs of this through acne, rosacea, maybe gaining weight, hormone imbalance, things like that. So it is a really good idea during your juice cleanse, or even during all of this conversation that we're having tonight, is to kind of go back to that relative balance and start thinking, okay, am I eating inflammatory foods? Am I participating in inflammatory behaviors? And what I mean by that, when I say inflammatory foods, obviously it's the caffeine, the sugar, the processed foods, the sodas, dairy, gluten, alcohol, those types of foods are very acidic, and over time they do lead to inflammation. The biggest cause of inflammation is stress, and that's what I mean by inflammatory behaviors. So if you're participating in that, not that you choose to, but being constantly busy, especially in our society in North America. Now, I know that we have some friends we have friends all over the world, but especially here in America, we tend to have activities planned every single minute of the day. We have our whole day planned. We're never taking a break. Even if we do take a break, we're on our phones, or we're doing, on some type of device, or you're, crack watching Netflix. That's very inflammatory when you're not doing some stress reduction, such as meditating and yoga and things like that. And we'll talk more about that during your cleanse, because remember, this is a holistic view. This is not just one isolated thing. Juicing involves everything to kind of connect to that relative balance there. So again, you can actually test yourself with pH strips you can get at a natural food market, like Whole Foods, or you can get them off of Amazon. It really doesn't matter what kind you get. The best kind would be, the best way to do it would be that if you urinate on the strip, and it would be the second time you use the bathroom in the morning, and you'll get a really accurate reading. And you could kind of tell from there, what's going on inside your body. So that's a big clue. We want balance on this physical level, this primal level. We want our bodies love us and want us to, obviously keep living a healthy life. And juicing is going to help us with that, because juicing allows us to get alkaline foods in the system quick and fast, without dealing with any digestion, any type of processing. So where you see that word alkaline, you're going to have a lot of fruits and a lot of vegetables. Dark leafy greens are very alkaline. So you're going to be hooked up with that during your cleanse. As humans, we strive for balance within each other. Obviously, we don't want any conflict with friends or family. We try to keep peace as much as possible. We want connection with nature and seasons. A lot of us in the Northern Hemisphere are, obviously hitting summer, and it's very, 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 very natural to want cooling foods, and juices are perfect for this time of year. So it's all kind of interesting how everything kind of connects. It's really exciting. So losing some belly fat or, firming up definitely are great goals. But it's a lot more than that. I really want you to think of the whole picture during your cleanse. And I want you to kind of set your intention before we start. And if you have any questions, definitely, list them in the question box. You can ask, and then we'll be able to go over them in the Q&A section. All right, so who needs to juice? Everybody. I know that I've had a lot of moms who are breastfeeding ask, yes, they can juice. Obviously not do a juice cleanse, but having a juice a day is going to be very beneficial for you and your baby. Little kids love to juice. I know my son, Jack, who's now 10, a few years ago, he actually had me make green juice before his basketball games, because he just thought it gave him power, which I obviously believe that. And I must have said that to him, but he really believed it, and he really said, I need my green juice. And he would take it to the games, and the boys would go, what is that? And they would test it and go, oh, I want some. So everybody needs juice. Me, you, everybody. So a lot of people who are faced with a health challenge do need to juice. If you want to lose weight, juice cleanses, actually you will lose weight just automatically, because you're bypassing the digestive system, which is good, and I'll tell you why in a few moments. But your body's not working too hard to assimilate the food, so there's no bloating and things like that. So juicing, I know that I have a lot of brides who come to me and want to juice because they want to look slim and svelte for their wedding day and have that glow. Of course, a lot of us who want to take it up a notch reducing cravings. It is crazy pants, but it is true. Green juice especially will help with any type of sugar craving. And I know you might think I'm crazy, but over time, your cells become more balanced and, your body's kind of, in that state of feeling kind of in that relative balance. So cravings are actually good. Cravings, great feedback. Cravings tell you, your body's way of telling you, okay, something's imbalanced, something's not right. Things might be, you might want to take a look here, or you might want to try doing this instead. And so it's great feedback. But I will tell you, especially from my own experience, my sugar cravings are pretty much zilch, because I've been drinking Beauty Remedy, which is my favorite green drink. I've been drinking this for a few years now. And liquid chlorophyll feeds your cells what they need, and you don't have to search for anything else. So it really balances things out. And my Beauty Remedy, really quickly, I'm not sure if you know this, but Beauty Remedy is kale. So a bunch of kale, which means like a handful, 1 cup of kale. I put 1 to about maybe 2 cucumbers, half an apple. You can use a whole apple if you want. Half a lime. You might want to use 1/4 of a lime. I just love because lime is fun and it tastes so good. And then I have, a 1/4 inch of ginger, like ginger root. And sometimes I put parsley in it. Parsley is great, a great diuretic. Love parsley. But all of these ingredients are great for your skin, great for alkalizing your cells, and helping with the cravings. So I will tell you, that's a great green drink to try. We'll be drinking some green drinks during the Juice It Up cleanse. And I'll be adding some extra recipes and some extra ideas throughout the whole time. So you can, mix things up and experiment. Sometimes people juice to kind of get a reboot. They don't know where there's a missing link, or they might know there's something they're tweak and they're not sure. So juicing actually helps with that, because remember, you're not working too hard and you're just juicing fruits and vegetables. And so you're not really getting any gluten, you're not getting the dairy, any type of animal protein, anything that's going to cause inflammation. And then you could probably pinpoint, where an inconsistency is, or, whenever you start adding some foods back into your diet. So it's pretty remarkable. Energy is off the hook. It is 9 o'clock my time on the eastern, in Maryland, in the east here of the United States, and I just have so much energy because I had 3 juices today. I'm kind of doing a modified juice cleanse, and actually, I wouldn't say modified. I've been juicing with some friends of mine. They started yesterday, so it's just amazing how energized you can feel. So I can't wait for you to experience it. And a lot of the times, juicing helps you look even younger, helps you glow. You get the sparkle in your eye, because all the food that you're eating or actually drinking is raw. There's no manipulation. There's no heating involved. And therefore, your body says, oh, I can start to heal some things, and I could actually give you more energy, and I can help you glow. So it's pretty fun. All right, really quickly, we're juicing because we want to assimilate nutrients easily. We're bypassing the digestive system, which is okay. The reason why we're doing that is because we are really trying to balance out the cells in our body. We're shifting our body from the acidic state to an alkaline state. We talked about being youthful. Also, let's talk about elimination. You will find that you will become very, very regular. In order to be regular, you should be going, to the bathroom. I know this is not the most pleasant thing to talk about, but hey, we got to be real here. You should be going at least times a day. And so whenever you juice, you're going to notice that, especially after day 2 or 3, because your body starts to balance out and things start to get regular. You got the energy, the weight loss. So when we juice, it's easier for our bodies to digest quickly, right? Because we're really not doing anything. There's no fiber involved. A lot of my clients, and in fact, a lot of you actually on the call, I see some of you actually, some of the names here, some of my friends, and you've mentioned even before that sometimes it's hard for you to digest broccoli, which you can juice broccoli, believe it or not, or you can't digest any raw vegetables. But when you juice them, no problem. So during your juice cleanse, if you did have issues with raw vegetables beforehand, I really want to find out if this, works for you. So juicing extracts liquid nutrition, the vitamins, all the chlorophyll from the dark leafy greens, this liquid sunshine right there, and it goes directly into your blood cells. So there's really not much work involved. So juicing is pretty easy on the body. So fast nutrient consumption, easy digestion, you get energy immediately. Definitely, I know that for a fact. That is definitely the best side effects ever. Bloating, there's really no bloating. Like with smoothies, you might have that just due to because you are getting the fiber in smoothies. But you will not really have any bloating with juicing because, like I said, there's really nothing going on with the digestive process. There's a large consumption of vegetables, such as that beauty remedy that I told you about. You cannot, I know I can't, and I don't really know any human that can sit down and eat 2 big cucumbers, an apple, or at least half an apple, the kale, and sit there and chew on that. You might be able to do it, but really your body after a while will go, hey, I'm full. This nutrient-dense goodness is amazing, but I'm full. So with the juicing, especially with people who don't want to eat fruits and vegetables, this is great to get them involved. My husband, Kevin, who never would eat a fruit or vegetable ever, not even when we got married years and years ago. And when I, started my career as a health coach, I would get in big fights with him because I'm like, try this quinoa with kale and blah, blah. And he was just like, oh my God, no, I'm not doing that. And, after a while, I just let go and said, okay, I'm just going to do my own thing. And so, I would tote my juices around and, drink, my green drinks. And, the whole time, and I didn't really even realize this, but he was watching. And it wasn't until the first Juice It Up cleanse that happened almost 4 years ago. And this is how everything started for our annual Juice It Up. He asked to join, and I thought he was crazy because I said, okay. He said, well, if you juice for me, I'll do it. Can you juice for me? And you know what? It was a 3-day cleanse, and I did juice for him. I made all his juices. He would take them to work and, drink one for dinner. And he ended up, I think, doing 5 days out of, he just kept going. And now to this day, he has a green juice almost every day. He brings juices to work. He'll come home from work and go, oh my God, I need a juice. I just need to balance things out, or I just feel like I need it. And so with those family members, or even with yourself, if you can't digest or you don't want to digest some vegetables or fruits, this might be a great way to get them in. You get a lot in, obviously your daily allowance, so it's pretty fun. Now, the benefits of blending. So you're probably asking, why would I juice? Because I want to have the fiber. Well, you will have fiber. So with juicing, on a juice cleanse, to be honest, you won't have the specific fiber because you are giving your body a break during this time. You're cleansing, you're detoxifying. And the reason why we want to do that is because we're exposed to environmental toxins all the time, every day, either through our electronics. Even factory farming has, pretty much destroyed a lot of our soil here in the United States for the past, it's not the same as it was 80 years ago. We're not getting the same nutrient-dense, vegetables. Even though we get, obviously vegetables are great and they are good for us, but we're not getting the quality that we had years and years and years and years and years ago. So we want to make sure, even stuff that we put on our skin, we want to make sure that we are giving our, kind of detoxifying, rebooting, clearing things out, especially for the new season. We want to make sure that we're doing that. So when it comes to like every day, let's say that you do the juice cleanse, you love it, and then you want to kind of ease back in, juicing is different than blending. They're 2 different nutritional goals. Juicing is more for healing. It's actually more of a snack. Unless you are doing a juice cleanse, you will be drinking 16 ounces of juice every 2 to 3 hours. That will be your meals and things like that. And I'll talk to you more about the menu. We'll also add an almond milk if you need it for some good fat, and a coconut water if you're doing yoga, especially if you're doing Bikram or hot yoga, or if you're working out. So you'll be hooked up with the juice cleanse. And then other than that, you'll get your fiber through beans, salads, other days after the cleanse. So you're good. But blending, you are getting the fiber. And blending is also great. So I do recommend both of these things to do in everyday life. Obviously, we're going to focus more on juicing tonight in the juice cleanse. But you are getting great fiber. Your sugar absorption is regular. There's no highs and lows or any dips in your blood sugar level. With juicing, you might find out that you're hungry within an hour. I know my body, I am, or at least if I do a 16 ounce juice, I probably can do 2.5 hours. But with a smoothie, you can have a meal. You are getting a lot of fiber with that. There's easy cleanup with the blender. It's more filling. It's easy to add extras. Oops. And also with blending, like I said, it's just a different nutritional goal. So many of us that are starting the Juice It Up cleanse, our goal is to actually get a reboot, give our systems a break, and then after we can add in some smoothies and mix it up with juices and salads and things like that. So that's why I added on 2 extra days of the juicing of the 3-day cleanse. Technically it's 5 days, because for 2 days I'm going to give you a menu plan on how to ease back into with re-entry. And thank you, Suzanne. She's one of our Clean and Sexy members. She had actually mentioned the word re-entry, and I'm thinking, oh, that's what we're going to do. Because sometimes we'll juice for 3 days, and then we'll come back on, the next day and go, okay, I don't know what to eat. What do I eat? What do I do? It feels so good. I don't want to go back to where I was. All right. So now this is the main question that I get from a lot of you. And in fact, I'm looking at questions here. First of all, we're going to talk about if you don't have a juicer, what to do. But let's get into juicers really quickly, and I'm going to check the time. Okay, good. We're good on time. Yay. Okay. So the centrifugal juicers. This is, I'm not sure if you can see it all the way. It's kind of cut off there. Oh, there we go. This is the juicer I do recommend for anyone who's beginning. I have a blog post coming out in 2 days. I really want you to check it out because I actually did a review and I rated all kinds of different juicers that I've tested. I've actually owned at least 5 juicers. So I've been testing them, looking at Amazon reviews, talking to different clients, testing some friends' juicers. I actually have a Norwalk, which we'll talk about also. This is something you do not need, but we're going to talk about the different juicers right now because really, if you're going to use your Vitamix, that is a smoothie. I do not want you, there are 2 things, okay, that I want you to do because I do not want you buying anything if you're new to juicing especially. Because number 1, you need to decide, am I going to juice all the time? Am I going to juice every day? Or is this an experiment that you might juice, have a juice here and there, or you might have a juice, maybe even if it is a juice every day, you're buying it from a juice shop or you're buying it from Whole Foods or you're getting it from someone else because you might not want to, to work the juicer. It's all up to you. So I really want you to think about this because this is an investment. It's kind of like picking your partner. So you're going to think about your lifestyle, what you can put up with, what you won't put up with, what you want. And, if you're fast and easy, you want an easy cleanup, then you're going to go for the centrifugal. It's got great cleanup. It's really easy to use. The only thing with the these type of juicers, and the Breville Juice Fountain Compact, it's $99. You can actually get that off of Amazon right now. It's seriously less than $100. It's better than the Jack LaLanne. And like I said, I rated all of them, and I don't want to get into all the juicers right now because I feel that some of us are kind of getting started and this might be really overwhelming. So you can, I'll send you a link to the blog post so that you can look at that in a couple of days so that you can kind of soak everything in, and then you can start, thinking about what you want to do next. There's really no chopping though involved with the Breville. I actually have this one at home. I use it for my family, for my kids, and for myself. Really, I stick a whole lime in there. I don't peel it. I don't peel anything. I don't chop anything. The only thing with this one, though, you do get a lot of pulp in the bin. And, that means that it's not assimilating all of it's mainly the dark leafy greens that it doesn't do as well with. So think about that. The Breville Juice Fountain Compact is $99. So that would be the one that I would like you to kind of check out. So the masticating juicers are bigger. That's a Champion right there. That's one of the juicers I have, and you know what? It's actually really hard to clean, but it's slower and it's cold pressed because the first one I showed you, the Centrifugal juicer, uses heat. So this one is cold pressed. There is more time chopping and cleaning, more time to, get your juice, but it's definitely worth it because you don't, you're not ending up with like tons of pulp or any leftover vegetables and things like that. So I really, really love the Huron juicer. And let me see if I can find, I actually think it's $265. That one is a great juicer if you want that type of juicer for your lifestyle. If you have more time to juice, like this, the Breville that I showed you, that one, seriously, seconds. I mean, you get a juice within seconds, seriously. You don't have to pop anything up. But you also have to drink it immediately, or at least within 15 minutes, just because when it's exposed to air, it's oxidized and, you lose some nutrients and enzymes through that. Don't fret though. Remember, we're just getting juicing into our systems. As long as you drink that juice, you put it in a nice mason jar, you tighten the lid, put it in the fridge. If you drink it within the 24 hours, you are cool. So don't worry. Now with this type of juicer, you have a little bit more time. So you could probably last, about a day, maybe 30 hours. Well, I wouldn't even push it to 2 days. But this one, the juice lasts longer and you get more enzymes. Okay. In the Twin Gear, you might not even get to this one. The juice lasts up to 3 days. You can make nut butters and wheatgrass and ice cream and things like that. These cost a lot more money. They can cost up to $1,000 or more. So I'm not going to really, get into this as much unless you're a pro, and you could ask a question in the question box because I would love to, obviously answer any questions that you have. But the Twin Gear is for somebody who's going to be juicing every day, all the time, and make multiple juices a day. And I don't have this one shown or listed for you because really you don't need it. It's called a Norwalk, and it's a cold pressed juicer. It's pretty big, and there's a couple different, different ones that you can get. I do have a Norwalk, and I do juice for clients, obviously, with this Norwalk because you get every ounce of nutrition, or enzymes, everything that you need from a dark leafy green, any type of vegetable or fruit. And so that you won't need. It's like $2,000, $3,000. So you don't need a Norwalk. So really what you need is something that's basic, and the first juicer that I showed you probably will do the trick. All right, so for your juicing kitchen, you need that juicer. And you know what, I'm going to answer this now. And let me see, I think I printed out some questions here. Okay, so someone I got this question a lot. But one of the questions was, I never juiced before, so I'm definitely interested in trying juicing, but can I do it, since it's new, without investing in a juicer? So what you can do is that you can definitely juice in your Vitamix. It has to be a high-powered blender, though. I mean, to be honest, if you have, a blender that's that you got making margaritas in college and you've been using it ever since, that blender is not going to work. You really have to have a Blendtec or a Vitamix, like a really high-powered juicer, as much as possible. What you can do, let's say you're, juicing pineapple and kale and cucumber, maybe lemon. You could actually, you're going to have to peel some things and cut things up a bit, but you could put it in the blender and blend it until smooth and then keep adding filtered water. So if things kind of get stuck, you could kind of, work it there and kind of blend it all together. And then you place a fine mesh strainer over a large mixing bowl. And then you pour that mixed juice, well, we call it juice, the juice over it. And then you press down with a rubber spatula. You kind of speed things along while you're doing it. And then you could get the liquid through there. So you won't have a lot of pulp. So that's how you use your Vitamix. Okay, so for your juicing kitchen though, you'll need that bamboo cutting board, chef's knife. I love my ceramic knife. Love, love, love it. Go to Beyond or Williams-Sonoma. Ask them to take you to the knife section and test some knives, like the Russian knives or the Japanese knives. For me, they were really heavy, but the ceramic was nice and light, and I just love it. Love it. So get yourself a good chef's knife. You can get bio bags. Debbie Meyer bags are also great. These are very great also for composting. These bags are mainly for, the centrifugal juicers because you're going to end up with lots of pulp. So with these bags, you can actually, to be honest, I've used the baggies you get your vegetables in, the biodegradable baggies that are recyclable, and you could just use those instead of buying, the bio bags. But it's up to you. In your juicing kitchen, so on your counter, you will have, your cutting board and your knife. You might have the bio bags in the little drawer underneath, the counter. And above the counter, you might want to have some mason jars. Glass mason jars are the best way to store juice and keep it fresh. So I would have like maybe 6 or 7 of those, on the shelf there. And of course, you're going to have tons of organic veggies and dark leafy greens. Some fruits, your lemons and limes nearby. Make sure your juicing kitchen station is right by the sink. So you could just, automatically just wash different parts of the juicer and things like that quickly. All right. We're going to go over some questions in a few moments. Here are some quick tips. So when you have your juicer, rinse the removable parts with water and set them in the dish drainer for the next time. Do that immediately. I've had the habit of juicing and then I kind of leave it all on the counter for a few hours and then I'm kind of stuck with like crusty, vegetable residue that it's hard to kind of clean. So make sure that you rinse immediately and, clean your juicer right away because you don't want to have things set. Now you're going to have your juicer stained, and that only means that it's loved. But when you're done juicing, make sure you clean things up quickly. So use your biodegradable green Debbie Meyer bags to collect the pulp. Now, some of you had asked, what do you do with all this pulp that's left? You can make fruit roll-ups, crackers. If you have a dehydrator, you can make bread, dog food, some cookies, believe it or not. I put the pulp in my soups and some stews. So you can actually use it for some smoothies. So don't feel guilty because there's many different ways to deal with the pulp. And that screen of your juicer, make sure you rinse it right away. That's one thing I really, really want to be a stickler about because it's really, the pulp's going to become difficult to remove over time. And we talked about the sink. All right. Last, and then we're done, okay? And then I'll answer some questions. So 3 veggies to 1 fruit. When we get started, or if we're starting to juice, or even if we've been juicing a long time, some of us love the sweetness. So we might juice the pineapple, an orange. We might have all kinds of fruit. We really don't want to do that. We really want to stick to the veggies and dark leafy greens. So 3 veggies to 1 fruit ratio. And most of the juices that you'll get at Juice It Up and all the bonus juice recipes that I'm going to give you, and even in some of the juice recipes that you might even see at juice bars, a lot of them have a lot of vegetables in, and they might put 1 fruit. So make sure you're doing that, because you want to make sure that you're, keeping your system as balanced as possible. Cucumbers are great to start with. Just juice a cucumber and put some mint in it, and just try that and see if that works. You might want cucumber with some apple. That would be great, actually, because you might have a little sweetness, and you have some mint, and maybe even put a lemon in it, and then you have a juice. You want to drink your juice on an empty stomach. Obviously, during your juice cleanse, you'll be doing that, but let's say you're having 1 juice a day, make sure that you are juicing on an empty stomach. And that green juice that I told you about, or any type of green juice, is going to be a great way to start, because it alkalizes your cells immediately. You want to boost your metabolism. If you do have solid food, and again, this is not during your cleanse, but it is during, this will be during after in the reentry period and after the cleanse. Wait 30 minutes. I actually waited an hour before eating solid food. It's all going to depend on how you feel. But you just want to even though your digestive system it kind of filters things out and will be okay, you just want to kind of give it that break that it needs, and kind of say, okay, this is juice and it's going into the cells. Oh, this is solid food. Now I need to work the digestive system and get all my parts ready and working. So we want to really be mindful of that. The chlorophyll, I can't even talk about it enough. It's just amazing. And the more you get the dark leafy greens into your system, the vegetables, the more things will balance out, especially with the cravings, and you'll feel lighter. Our eyes will twinkle with sparkles, and you'll glow, and you'll feel amazing. And then one more thing, just for a review, there's no fiber in juicing. Don't worry, because you're getting fiber from all the other foods, especially in the reentry period and obviously after the cleanse. All right, so Q&A. It's Q&A time. This is the Soaring Energy Juice. This is one of the favorites. This is a cocktail. I have it on the blog, and this is your starter cocktail. So you'll juice 1/2 to 1 cup of pineapple chunks. I use frozen because I use frozen today because I didn't have pineapple in the fridge, and or pineapple lying around on the counter. So I wanted a little bit of a frostier taste. And then if you do use a pineapple, 1/2 of a pineapple. 8 cherries. Cherries are great for recovery, very great for digestion, to be honest. And then 1/2 a lime. So really, really easy. It's fresh. It's not too sweet. It's got a tart kick from the lime. And it really, really helps with burning fat and debloating. I don't know if debloating is a word. I'm just going to say it. And it will keep you actually very focused. So it's really powerful. So I hope you make this Soaring Energy. So really quickly, it's pineapple, some cherries. Usually 8 cherries work. And then 1/2 a lime. And during the Juice It Up, we are going to be having a fun party and a game. And so you can definitely score your own juicer, especially if you don't have one, or you're going to be using your Vitamix or your blender, and you're kind of testing the waters, and then you go, oh my gosh, I really, really want a juice. Or you might just need a new juicer. I know Colleen, who is also a Clean and Sexy member, asked a few weeks ago, hey, I'm ready to upgrade for my Jacqueline. What do I do? And so the Breville Juice Compact is a great way to go. So I'm going to give away this beautiful juicer to one of you awesome Juice It Up participants. So I'm excited about that. Okay. So let's look at some questions here. And I'm going to let you look at Colleen. Actually, she's sipping that juice. And this Elizabeth's son is juicing. And then Heidi's 3 children look happy with their juices there. So let me see if I can. All right. Sylvia asked, do you get the same nutrition with juicing and blending? And so I probably went over this a little bit earlier, but just again, that's a really, really great question. Typically, you'll get the same nutrients with the vegetables, obviously in the fruit, but it's not the same type of goal. And also you're getting the fiber with the blending. So the answer is going to be no to that, but you are getting lots of nutrients and enzymes with both juicing and blending. It's just that the body's going to assimilate the vegetables differently, if that makes sense. And that's an awesome question. And then Amy asked, can I use my Vitamix? Yes, yes, you can. So what type of strainer do you recommend? I actually just use a mesh strainer that I have, and I just use, it's kind of basic, and it's, I'm going to have to get you, if you really want a name brand, I'll have to get you that. But typically, you find a mesh strainer anywhere at Bed Bath & Beyond, and really it doesn't matter. You can even use cheesecloth. For me, that's pretty messy, but some people have had great luck with cheesecloth. So try that first before you invest in a juicer. Definitely do that. Okay, let's see if we have any other questions. Anybody else have a question? And I'm looking here. And our time is wonderful. We're going to close up shop soon. Oh, wait. Okay. We talked about what juicer to buy. Let's see. Oh, how do you clean the grater or the screen? All right, so what you can do, and this is the old trick, is that you can use a toothbrush, obviously an old one that you're not using, to clean the grater piece. And, or the bristle on the end of a sponge will also work. So the best thing to do is to soak up your water immediately after you juice, so it gets a really deep cleaning. So the toothbrush is probably your best bet with cleaning the grater. Okay, how many calories will I consume on a juice cleanse? So this is really interesting. First of all, I'm not a numbers girl, and really calories are interesting because you're going to have to keep in mind that counting calories with raw juice is not equivalent to the calories you count on the traditional diet of cooked or processed foods. So nothing is wasted when you juice because the body knows how to assimilate it. All the calories of the juices. So a regular diet of, let's say, 2,000 calories, for example, might only have about 1,200 usable calories. So the rest is wasted or stored as fat. So what I'm trying to say is 500 calories of juice is not the same as 500 calories of a bagel with cream cheese. So for the Juice It Up cleanse, the recipes that you'll be using, if you follow that for the 3 days, it's about 900 to about maybe 1,100 calories total for the day. But that's going to depend on if you do drink the 16 ounces of juice, if you do add the almond milk, if you do add coconut water. So you're going to have to judge it from there. I really wouldn't worry about counting all of that right now because you're kind of trying either something new or you're doing something that makes you feel good. And I would rather you pay more attention to anything that you notice that's different, anything that is going to help you move forward with your lifelong wellness journey. So, that's what I would focus on. So for the calories, it's about 900 to maybe 1,111, probably around that for each day. All right. And I think, trying to think, I wrote down a few more questions. Oh, okay. So when we get to the cleanse, I will tell you in order what juices to drink. And does it matter? Well, technically, it's not a biggie, but yes. So the order of juices is specifically designed with your body's function in mind. So when your stomach is empty the first thing in the morning, your body's able to assimilate whatever you put much more than if you consume something prior. So that's why you should always have a green juice first. And that's that, the beauty remedy, that green beauty remedy I told you about. That way your body's going to absorb all the vitamins and nutrients without any type of interruption. And then you'll have a sequence from there. And let's see. I think that might be all of our questions. Let me look and see if anyone else. Oh, wait. There might be more. Hold on. So what about the seeds in fruit? Actually, you will not consume that in the juicer, the seeds and fruit. And I wouldn't worry about that. I'm not sure what you mean by bad seeds. Sylvia, can you elaborate a little bit? So technically, actually juicing, you won't obviously get the seeds or any type of rinds. So I wouldn't be concerned with that. If you are allergic to something, obviously don't, juice with that. I know grapefruit is something that a lot of people on medications cannot have. There's a contraindication there. Obviously, ask your doctor before you juice or do anything like this, especially if you're on medication. Juices are packed with tons of nutrients that will help your body fight off any type of infection. So juicing can be a definite complement, while you recover and heal if you are taking any type of medication. But I would not juice if you're on blood thinning medication, especially with the amount of greens in the cleanse. So please check with your doctor before, you do that. So let's see. Sylvia, did you answer me? Let's see. Apple seed. Oh, the cyanide. Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't worry about that at all. And if you are concerned, I never had issues, and I've never heard of anyone really, having many issues with that. You could definitely cut up your apple, take the seeds out, but it extracts them. The juicer will do that, so you won't have to worry about that. But just make sure, especially if you have like a juicer that's not the best. Okay, Sylvia, great. I think I answered the question. Yay. So if you don't, if you have the Jack LaLanne, just make sure. I know I've had some issues with that juicer. And let me tell you, I love Jack LaLanne, and I totally want to support. But the juicer, is not user friendly as much as the Breville is if you're going to do a centrifugal juicer. So, you're going to really watch out for the seeds or any type of rinds. Make sure you cut things up with that, even if it is a centrifugal juicer, because it's obviously, not as quick and fast as the Breville. All right. Hopefully I didn't confuse you, but please don't worry, because you're signed up for the Juice It Up. And if you're not, for some reason, if you're on this webinar and, I would love for you to join us, don't forget, remember, juicing is for everyone. It makes you happy, healthy, and juice it up with tons of friends. I love going to the Wellness Center. It's a beautiful center here in Annapolis, and I volunteer and bring juices. I do juicing demonstrations, and I was just there a couple weeks ago, and Kristen with the purple shirt is one of my clients. She's been with me for a few years, and she was just diagnosed with cancer, and she is having her operation in July. And she is working on juicing, and I just got some information. Actually, I'm, catch up with her here and there, and, I'll be bringing her more juice, and she's such a big advocate, and her doctor's advocating for it also. So it's just really fun to juice up with friends, and it is very, very, very healing. And these are some of my favorite people, so I wanted to say hi and let you meet them. All right, so please, invite your friends to join. It's free. It's just going to be a really good time. It always is. Like I said, I've done this for 4 years in a row. We always have a really fun group of supportive friends doing it with us, a great community. And there's a link right there. If you, for some reason, aren't signed up, I think that you probably are, but you never know how technology is. Make sure that you're signed up. Pass this link on to your friends. Post it on your Facebook, share it on Instagram, really. And the reason why I'm asking you to do that is because I want to leave you with these final words. Just like with my husband, that ripple effect happened, and it happened without me forcing or even knowing, to be honest. he was kind of watching me, and I had so many, before we even got married, I had so many issues. I had chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, rosacea, cystitis, the candida thing was going on. I was depressed. I was a very sick person. And throughout my journey of learning how to eat real whole foods and managing my stress, I started to feel better, and juicing really, really changed the game for me. I can't even say enough how much it changed the game for me. I am not on any medications at all. I have no symptoms of anything, any type of illness that I've had in the past. And I just really think juicing played a really, really big part of that. It's very, very healing. And I know when you're juicing or bringing your juices to work, or you're, toting them around with you, people are watching you. Your loved ones are watching you, and they're going to want to know what you're doing. So I really, as we discovered here tonight, you can certainly jumpstart any type of health goal, like losing weight, feeling energized, feeling good in your body. You can do it without any type of gimmicks. This is real, raw, real food. It's just that we're not chewing it, we're drinking it. And we're drinking a lot of food, and it's very, very nourishing for, our bodies, and also for our soul and for those around us. We learned about how important relative balance and juicing can be to our overall being, and we definitely want to share it with others. So I just want to thank you for being here with me. And I'm going to do one last call for questions, and I don't think I have any more. And I'm sure you'll come up with them. So hop on the Facebook group and ask. Okay, I'm clicking and trying to see. Nope, no more questions. Oh, wait a minute. I had one from Colleen, actually. She asked, oh goodness, sorry guys, we're going to do one more question. She asked something about substitutions. So a lot of you that can't do the grapefruit, and actually Colleen's not a coconut water girl, so she was cursing Rihanna. I guess Rihanna was in these ads a couple years ago, or it was last year. But if you can't drink, let's say, grapefruit, I have some substitutions such as lemon drop. And it's not an alcoholic drink. It is lemons with some water mixed, and then I sometimes put turmeric with it, or cayenne pepper. So that might be a great substitution. We're going to talk more about this during the cleanse, actually, because when I give you your recipes, and each day I'll be emailing you and on you, I'm going to give you some extra boost about different ingredients that you can add to each recipe. So we'll do that if there are any substitutions. All right, so I think that's it. I could talk about this and talk and talk and talk because it's so much fun. And I know with all my heart that juicing can definitely up your nutrition game and help you heal. So again, thank you for being with me. I'm so grateful, and I'm really excited about our Juice It Up coming up. So share with your friends, and we'll be on the forum. Ask me questions. Let me know how you're doing. You can email me at lisa@wholehealthdesigns.com. And if you have any techie type of issues, let's say you might be missing an email, or you might need the recording again, which you will get this recording tomorrow, you can email Kevin at info@wholehealthdesigns.com, because he's the tech wizard and he knows all about stuff, and he's amazing with that. All right, well, have an amazing night, and I'm so glad to be here with you. Bye-bye.